Z159 FM.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Squirt.
Squirt who?
Squirt is P, you dumb rednecks.
Right about now, you are listening to the incredible
A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, who kindly remind you that squirt is P.
All right, we'll turn everything on and then drop down our...
And is my mic on?
Your microphone is on. Can you hear yourself at all?
Yes, I
Okay.
can.
All
And then you
right.
want me pretty close to
about
the
an inch
microphone.
off of it if you don't mind.
Yep.
And I don't want to
Is that
blow your
good?
ear. Yeah, that's perfect. I don't want to blow your eardrums out, but I want to make your camera look good. And then... You know, you've been coming up in my algorithm now.
Am I?
Yeah, and I like, you're a good follow.
Thank you.
You give good advice that I probably don't follow.
That's a great way to put it.
It's good though. It's good, and I
Thank
like
you.
your podcasting clips are good.
Thank you.
All right.
I like getting advice, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, that would work. And then I don't do
Forget
it.
about
And
it.
then let's don't do it.
Yeah.
Too hard. Too hard.
But I'm like, if I did do it, it would work and benefit
Yeah,
my
yeah.
life. But I will not do it.
That's that. Okay, I think we're good, buddy.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, is she bullying me by saying, hey, if you did this, it'll work? And then I know that, but then I have to tell myself, too much work to do it.
Yeah.
I'm
And you
like,
don't
it's
want
on
to be
me.
bullied. You don't want to be bullied.
No.
All right, Mr. Van, would
All
you
right.
like to begin?
Yep.
Do you know where you know where this is going?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
This is going to air tomorrow, by the way.
Okay, beautiful. Here we go. In 3.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube. We'd love it if you would join us. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live wherever you watch podcasts. We're probably there, I would imagine. We've been doing this for 17 years?
Yeah.
16
wow,
years?
Wow,
Yeah, it's a long
man.
time. Yeah, so yeah. Wherever you go to get podcasts, rest assured, I believe we're there.
16? Sweet 16?
Yeah, I should have said that.
Yeah.
Our podcast is old enough to have an obnoxious birthday party that they don't deserve. Like, that's how our podcast deserves. Our podcast could have Lil Wayne come and rap on the front lawn, and then I could gift my podcast a
Corvette?
A Corvette, or a Tesla Model S.
Yours can drive. I
Yeah,
love it.
There you go.
Our favorite relationship therapist,
Indeed.
Colette, our neighbor, is here. How you doing, Colette?
Hey!
Great. It's so good to be back.
So, Colette, you've been traveling recently,
Yes.
right? You're a hustler. You don't do like we do. We just
No,
come
no.
into work
Yeah.
every day and then we leave.
Yeah, this morning we got here. We're like, do you want to do this today? I'm like, you want to go fishing? Let's go fishing.
Well,
Yeah,
I
we should-
definitely feel that way a lot too.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but you're out there promoting yourself, doing other interviews in other states.
Yes.
What have you been up to? Let's talk. Let's dig in a little bit. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Well, I'm about to go to Phoenix to do a media thing on dating, so that
Okay.
should be fun. But I have been, the biggest and coolest thing I've done recently is that I spent just over 2 weeks in Italy.
And you were on the,
all right.
and you did it like Tom does it. Like, I mean, or maybe you didn't, but you were posting a lot, which
Yes.
led me to believe that there was very little downtime. This
Yes.
was like a go, go, go.
It was a go trip.
Yeah.
I mean, we were on Mount Etna, which just erupted. I don't
Wife
know if you
of
guys saw.
sister of Everest,
Yeah.
Mount Everest.
Yeah.
No,
It
no, it's
just
not true.
Oh.
erupted?
Yeah, so it's an active volcano. It like spews a little bit of lava every day, but it erupted in grand spectacular fashion, I think yesterday or the day before, and sent tourists running. And I was afraid of that very thing and was reassured that, oh no, that won't happen. And then of course it happened a couple of weeks later.
That's what Tom says about everything. He's like, we were just
But
talking about
were-
that.
you
You're like,
weren't-
that won't happen.
You weren't disappointed that you weren't there to
No.
experience it? That's
No.
a once in a
I am-
lifetime.
a total chicken.
Yeah, but you would have lived. No one died.
I know, that's true. That's true.
So that I always look at things like that. Like we were in Hawaii before it, like a volcano,
Oh, yeah.
or, like lava spewed and whatever. And I was so disappointed that we weren't there to see it
Yeah.
happen. I mean, this wasn't
I was
an
in the
eruption.
Dominican Republic when we got an earthquake. Remember that?
Yeah, but
Really?
no, but you get to experience it.
I
though.
got, but it was like
Okay.
I'm in a building and it's on the other side of the Dominican Republic, and
Wow.
so the building just went.
Okay,
That was it.
but that's scary. And actually, my husband had the same reaction as you. He was like, "Oh my God, I wish
Yeah.
this happened while we were
Yeah.
there."
Yeah. Me
Yeah,
and
you
your
wanna
husband have
see
a lot
it.
in common.
Yeah.
I
You
can
wanna
tell.
see
it.
But you know what did happen that's historic while I was there?
Yes, I
was
know.
in,
do
from
know.
social media, I was in the Vatican City the day the new pope was elected.
Yeah.
Really? How
Yes.
was that?
Boots on the ground. That's crazy to
I
be there,
know,
right?
I know.
Did the energy feel, because I was glad that you were there, because that's why I commented and said, like, we got to talk to you, because something that historic that, like, it really doesn't mean much to me. I'm not Catholic.
Yeah.
I'm not very religious, but I do know how important this is globally, right? Like, it's up there and even in some cases higher than elected presidents.
Yeah,
even
it's
ours.
older than
It is.
most.
Yep.
You know,
what was the
obviously
energy like
politics.
there? What was it,
It
like?
was amazing. So it's interesting because I'm Catholic, but I'm really like a bad Catholic. I jokingly say that I went to Catholic school, all girls school, uniforms, nuns and habits, and I was always the one getting in trouble. Like
Yeah.
I'd go to confession and make up things that were worse than what I did just to see the priest's reaction.
I like
I
that.
would
Oh,
fuck
yeah,
with the priest.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. You're
Sorry,
fine.
sorry, sorry,
A
okay.
dirty
Yeah.
Catholic schoolgirl.
What are you doing?
Okay, this is going in a bad direction.
what you're doing here, you dirty Catholic schoolgirl. When he laughs like that, you know there's
That's
a
a man's
syntax.
fantasy.
There's
though.
a syntax error inside there. Something's repeating itself on the
By
hard
the way,
drive.
don't tell people that's your fantasy.
Yeah, this is going in a worse
I'm just saying
direction.
He's a little
that
under
used to
the
be
weather.
okay to like. No, not so
The
much.
chat room is just they're
Oh,
like,
don't listen to them.
the ladies are saying, have some class.
we should not even broadcast to the chat room, like because all they do.
I'll turn it off. I'll turn
Yeah.
it off.
Oh
All
my
right,
god!
sorry, Colette.
So no. It's funny because going into the Vatican, like I didn't even really want to go. I'd been there before multiple times, but when I was much younger, and my husband, who is a good Catholic and really likes being Catholic,
Sure.
really wanted to go, and he'd never been. So I kept joking, like, "Do we have to go to the Vatican?" And then, along the lines of what you're saying, it ended up being one of the most transformational, amazing experiences of my life because of the energy.
Yeah.
People were so, regardless of religion, it really wasn't even about that. It just felt like people really want a positive role model in the world, a spiritual leader and healer.
Yeah.
And who
something
knows
to believe in. I hate
Yes.
saying that. Give me something to
Yes.
believe, Brett Michaels. That's not what I'm saying.
Did
But
you?
I
did
kind
you-
of am.
because you're an American. There, I mean, the American Pope. Did you
Yeah.
wave an American flag?
USA. USA. You start chanting.
Yeah, I mean, we were excited that it was an American, and just people were so joyful. I mean, I made all these friends. People
That's
were
neat.
hugging. Everyone had positive energy. And in contrast to here, where whatever side of politics you're on, there's so much vitriol and contentiousness. It was
Yeah.
nice to see people coming together. And so many people were excited and shocked that the Pope's American, because that's never happened.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like technically American and I think a little more Peruvian, but who cares? We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll definitely take it.
I-
I like a good Peruvian American. I like a Peruvian American Pope.
Me too.
I like what is that there was a Peruvian restaurant here in town that had the best cow heart. You ever had cow heart?
I have not.
Oh, and then you get some what's the fish? You squeeze the lime on it to cook it.
Ceviche.
Ceviche.
Oh,
I
so
like
good.
that. I like that.
So good.
I don't like when they interview like people who used to know this guy when he was in college and stuff. And on TikTok, I see the
He likes
interviews.
beer.
Yeah, it's like he's a normal guy.
like a normal dude.
And then like they had nothing but good things to say about him, but he's just a normal dude
Yep.
in like college and stuff. And I was like, oh, you ruined it because
Yeah.
in my mind, the Pope is always this old man that's like a ghost to me. that
Yeah,
it's like he lived some weird life that I can't even imagine. That was pure at heart. And I don't want him to be a normal guy that likes beer.
No, I don't either.
Right.
Yeah,
they
like I
got
want to be a
wasted in
ghost.
college.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
And we knew there was a chance of that with an American Pope because, you know, I feel like other nations, their popes, I was kind of holding out for like the first African Pope would have
Yeah.
been mysterious.
Yeah.
Way more mysterious than American Pope we know we're getting, especially from Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, like we know he likes a pickle on his hot dog and he likes beer.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. But I hope he turns out to be as good as I think people are hoping.
I think so.
People just need, it's what you said. We need hope, something that feels good.
Something comfortable, right? Like
Yes.
something that's like
Yes.
not necessarily right out of the box negative, you know.
Right.
But then, you know, I've been feeling that a lot lately with everything. Like as soon as the Pope was chosen, immediately, you know, people complaining.
I
You know,
know.
the new Orlando Magic logo came out yesterday. Immediately, everybody.
Really?
"Argh."
Really?
And I'm like, I'm
People
over.
bitched about it?
Yeah, I have a brand new shirt on. I
Yeah.
went down and stood on the
Well,
court.
it's easier to bitch.
No, but
Yes.
I think it's
Yep.
I think it's very lazy to do that. It's very
agree.
lazy to give up on everything. Is so lazy to be like, you know what? I'm just going to crap on everything. And it's like, well, why are you even here?
But
And some people do that. That's their MO.
it elicits a response, though,
Right.
and like that's what you're looking for, especially online. You're just like, because if you said,
So you
all
need
right,
attention,
it's
you need some
fine,
love.
it's fine, doesn't get nothing.
No.
you gotta pick it apart. And you're
That's,
like,
that's
this
where
is-
I am. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
I'm not even a guy that I'm not even
Yeah.
saying it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm definitely in a it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And those people are forgotten
That
about.
doesn't get
You're
the
right.
likes.
You're right. That's what's so, but that isn't that what's so wrong and broken about society now is that to get attention, it's negative attention and you have to be attacking or criticizing. That's
Well,
not.
that's the formula. what are we supposed to do?
That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't
What
not-
do we do now, Colette? We'll stop.
I
here.
tried to do a couple nice things and didn't get any likes,
Yeah.
so I went back to the trolling.
I told a guy on Reddit I like the new Magic logo, and he said some horrible things to
I
me.
bet.
Yeah.
But this is good for my business, right? If
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
miserable.
Oh, okay. So
I love
Colette,
how real you are.
we're gonna talk about some. I
got some stuff.
We looked up some relationship stuff and I wanted to go through that with you, but I
Yes.
came up with an idea that I think can revolutionize the way relationships work and help marriages in the United States. If the world wants to adopt this,
Did
it's
you
fine with me.
just think of this?
Yeah, I just thought of
All
it.
right, I love
I
it.
can't wait to hear.
The best ideas are 5 seconds long.
Yeah, that's what happens. Anyway, I started thinking, and I was like, because I was like, oh,
Step 1, think. He got that down. He got that one down.
I was like,
You're winning already.
Yeah.
I was like, Colette's coming in. Let me look up some relationship stuff on the internet, and then I was like, let me look up like how to, keep a long-term marriage because I feel like that's everybody's goal, maybe to
I
have,
mean,
or a
you're doing
long-term
it.
partnership.
You are doing
yeah,
it.
yeah. But I feel like
You've been married like 20 years, bro.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
and your wife is very accepting of you.
yeah,
She's given up.
Yeah.
She and I
Kind
have
of.
given up.
Yeah,
Wait till
yeah.
you get to me. Oh, you're gonna love when we do Colette versus Daniel. Oh, you're gonna love that.
But I'm not convinced anything I'm doing necessarily contributes
Because
to
you're
the
not doing it. Yes.
Because everything I read, I'm doing the wrong things in all the top 10. I
Well,
was
he
doing
was-
9 of the 10.
Okay, he was
You
going
know,
through
yeah.
this list, and I heard a lot of him and Han over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to my idea.
Please.
So I was like, what if, right, we put a legal limit on marriage time, right? And so and then the U.S.
You know
government.
somebody else we used to work with had this idea, right?
No, he just said you should yourself.
It was the
should
5-year
every
lease on
Yeah, well, that's
love.
too short,
Yeah,
old
okay,
man.
all right.
So
Well,
it's-
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
a lot of similarities in
no,
these two hosts.
no.
Wait, what's the legal limit? Like you can only be married for a certain amount of time?
Yes.
Now you got it.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, okay. And then set the limit at 20 years. Okay, right? So the legal limit to marriage is 20 years. That's
Okay.
And then and you cannot, and by the way, this is not like, oh, you have to get divorced legally and then you can still live together.
It just
Like,
expires
you
like
ha-
a license.
It expires, but you then have to leave each other and can never see each other again.
Oh.
Like,
Oh
or,
my God!
or-
Hold on, there's
Wow.
some
Okay, this-
seriously
This is getting
some
dark.
crazy
Or-
right turns in the.
I mean,
I
well,
didn't
you
expect
have
that.
to, or some government
At the
thugs.
end of the 20, you have to murder each other.
No,
like, this guy's
no.
wild. You're
No.
wild.
You will
today.
never see this person
Yeah,
again.
why do you have to go and never see the person again? What if we
yeah,
have
why?
kids?
Well, that's
Why,
all
why?
part of it. I'll explain here.
Okay,
I mean, that's
okay.
all part of it.
Okay.
And then
All right.
government thugs will remove you from this.
Oh,
if you
goons. We
try
call
to-
them goons.
Yeah, goons. And they will.
Are you familiar with government goons?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We're bringing the term goon back, by the way.
and they will kick your door down, and if you try to hide in the attic, they'll get you.
Yeah, they
I'm
will
telling you.
get you.
Anyway, so this is part of it because you can't just say, oh, legally, because people will just get remarried
Right.
again, and then it's like the whole point is ruined after that.
Okay.
Anyway, so the legal, you can only be married 20 years. One, if people it'll cause people to delay their marriage if they're like, oh,
if they really love the
Yeah, yeah,
person,
yeah,
because you
yeah.
want to get the most out of your marriage.
Yeah. And so you're like, well, let's just be together for a while. We'll get married in like 10 years. So that way we get a full 30 together. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll cause
Okay,
that.
yeah.
And second, I believe that people in long-term marriages will care more and try harder because there's an ending they see. You see what I'm
But
saying?
is there a prize?
No,
I think there's got to be.
well,
You have to get something at the end of the 20.
the government
Yeah.
will give you some sort of
stipend.
monetary,
Yeah.
yearly.
Yeah.
Like if you make it a full 20, they're like, oh, here's
$10,000.
a year or something. It can't be that much. I mean, I gotta pay for a
Well,
war.
we're going to be on universal income by then anyway.
Anyway.
Like we'll be on it. My daughter will be getting money because she's going to be a dancer, and we all know that dancers are useless.
And here's why I came up with this, Colette. And you're a relationship therapist, so
Yes.
you'll understand. So
You said that to verify, didn't you? You forgot.
because I started looking at my own marriage.
Yeah.
20 is coming up in 2 years.
Wow.
Right? And so I'm like,
Damn, you're old.
You'd be about to never see your wife
God.
again.
yeah.
If we had touched.
And then I
Yeah.
thought, I was like, man,
I was like, oh, that actually makes me sad when I put it that way.
yeah. And I'm like,
That's
I
some
like my
effed
wife.
up stuff, dude.
I'll try a little harder. Like I should
You
get
just
those
blew-
flowers.
Colette didn't even have glasses
Yeah.
on. You blew them off.
Yeah, because
I
right
mean, the mental hoops to get you there.
Yes, because right now, Colette, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, when do I die? Like how long do I have left with this same
You
person?
know, I think you're obsessed with that. I do think
No,
he is literally obsessed with the
But-
life clock.
No, dude,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah, a lot
just
of
saying,
people are.
we're gonna be together for the end of the whole time. Like, is it 80? That's a long. I mean,
Yep.
the same person.
So wait, are you looking forward to the 20 years?
Right.
Like I don't know. I don't
Are
know how to
you
read
wishing
you.
you never see your wife again,
Do
or
you-
glad that you will?
Thank you, Colette. Do you value the 20 now, or are you looking
Yes.
forward to the new person?
It's,
Because
it's,
you just said both.
no, it's the live like you're dying.
Right.
Oh, Tim McGraw.
Live like every day
Yeah,
is the
you got to write a
last.
bull named Fu Manchu.
I do that once a week.
I think it's
Sorry.
brilliant. I would just change the never see each other again. What,
He wants to get to 20 and go, bye, Fu Manchu.
I actually
See you
think
later.
it should be 10. I think it should be 10. I think it should expire. And then I think you're allowed to remarry if you want. That way you don't have to get a divorce. People
Okay.
change a lot over 10 years. Long-term relationships usually have to be recalibrated and renegotiated. If you only knew you had the person for 10 years and then they would have to choose you again, you might actually step it up and continue to put effort.
See,
Why do you want the 20? Because you're
Well,
closer to 20.
See,
I
I'm
think
so
20 is too long.
Colette. If it was 10, I'm so lazy. I know myself too well that Chris would be like, "Our marriage license expired." I was like, "Oh God, just go
Okay,
do
what
telemedicine."
what if you can do a 10? What if you can do
And-
a 10 with a reoccurring second 10?
Well, the problem
What do
is,
you mean? Like you could
Like it
negotiate-
charges you, like it'll
Yeah.
just charge through like Planet Fitness.
if I know I could just reapply, I won't do the flowers and all. I won't appreciate it as much. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? If I knew that I'd never
This
see
is
the
a
person.
long way to go for flowers, buddy.
But what if your wife would have to pick you again at the end of the 10
You
years?
don't wanna
and it
ask her that.
wasn't an automatic renewal.
You don't want to ask her
It's
that. She
always
would pick
going to
you.
be a renewal.
She would.
Colette.
I agree.
She would
Because
pick
we're-
Even
you.
from that conversation.
You know
We're
why
all
she would
lazy.
pick
I can
him?
tell.
The sad part is that she would pick him because she doesn't know anything any different.
Yeah.
And there is a different version of her
Yeah,
that
yeah.
if she
She's
did
in a
unhitch
mental
the
prison.
wagon, yeah, she is in a prison now.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
she were able to unhitch her wagon from you,
Yeah,
the Wild West would be hers.
yeah.
Hers for the taking. It would be hers for the
yeah,
taking.
yeah. And I've enabled her so much that no one's gonna want to
Yeah,
be with
you
her
guys
after
are
me.
like
Because
they're
I just let her do whatever she wants.
Well, that's a powerful thing.
you're barely functioning, but you're both dependently broken.
Yeah. That's what everybody does.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that is
Right,
what
isn't
everybody
that
does.
everyone?
But
Yeah.
if I knew in 2 years that some thugs are going to take me away,
Goons.
Yeah.
some
Thank you.
goons,
Yeah.
then
Make the most of it.
I mean, every weekend I'll be whining and dining.
It's 69.
Yeah.
You gotta throw some of that in
Like,
there.
I'll put some effort. She'll put some
Yeah,
effort. It's
'cause
like,
you don't want the goons.
Yeah, it was like we gotta make
Are
it.
you gonna be like scared though? Are you gonna be a little gun shy? I mean, always looking over your shoulder. That's a goon. Ah, that's a goon.
No, I got 2 more years. And
Yeah, but I mean, when you get to that last 3 months,
Yes.
the goons are
Yes,
coming.
the
You know,
goons are coming.
the government though, they're so slow and sending the
That's true.
goons. They
They'll
come-
mess it up.
It's gonna be 30 years.
Yeah, it's like ice. Like they may get you,
Oh, my
but
God.
probably not.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
broke me and my wife up. We were only on 8 years.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
broke us up early.
Sorry, Colette.
Okay,
you
No,
wanna
I
just
think
throw it out there?
I think it's just so fascinating. And I think also it's to that truism of, do you have to lose what you have to appreciate it? And some people come out of a relationship, or one complaint I'll hear often is that, oh, now he wants to change when I'm finally wanting to be done, right? Where was all this energy before when I was trying to express my grievances? Some people don't really get it until they feel the suffering that comes from losing someone. But on the flip side, some people, it ends and they go, oh my God, it's such a relief. And then it's very telling in a completely different way.
Do you find that you have some couples, and I can imagine that this would be the big one for you,
Yeah.
that you have one person where they are, oh my God, I am so deathly afraid of losing this person. And then one person who is, this is breaking apart and it feels good. I need this.
Yes.
And then the fixing there is a going in separate directions. Is that the hardest for you as a counselor, or are they all sort of case by case? Because do you see that a lot, or is it all like it's
No, I
all
do
random?
see that. And actually, there's a specific kind of counseling for that a lot of people don't know about called discernment counseling, where we call it a mixed agenda couple. There's ambivalence in the relationship. One person's leaning in hard and the other person's leaning out. And the challenge is that sometimes the very dynamics of one person leaning out makes the other pursue even more, causes that leaning out person to lean out even more.
Yeah.
So the therapy.
That's called the chase.
Yes, yes, it's the chase.
I love the chase.
But you can end up having a relationship end just because of those dynamics. So we try to neutralize that and say, let's look at what's really going on here and what you want. And, you know, it takes two people to choose a relationship, whether there's a government goon squad coming or not. But it takes.
Hold on, write that down.
Yeah, like two people have to choose it, but one person ends it. If one person wants out, it's over.
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
referencing He Stopped Loving Her Today by George Jones. I think he kills her.
Why is that with emotional people? Because my wife will say that all the time.
emotional people.
I'll look that
no.
He calls me that all the time.
No, you know, I'm just saying.
Or sometimes he just refers to us as the gays.
No.
He's called me that before.
I understand. You're,
Yeah.
It's better. It's more healthy the way you live than the way I'm living.
No, because I take it, sometimes I live only in the emotional, which is not a good place of only living that way. Like it becomes almost like, I don't know, I lean into that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
but
because
it is healthier to feel your feelings.
My wife will tell me throughout the years of us being married, she's like, you better hope that I never, decide that it's done and I stop loving you, because it's never coming back after that.
Wow.
And then I'm like, never? I'm like, I feel like I could come back,
I feel like I make a fire in the rain, I'll tell you that.
But actually, that's
I
true,
could-
what you're saying.
Like she says in her mind and how her brain works, so once she's done with me or some whatever emotionally, then there's like she can't go back. Like she's made.
You want to role play that? Tell me that, and I'm going to answer you.
What am I telling you? I'm never coming
you're
back. I'm
Crystal, and you tell me you're never coming back, and I will answer you as I would answer Andrea.
All right. If you better hope one day I don't emotionally decide that this is over, because once I do that, it'll never come back.
Come on, baby. You know I eat it too good. Just got to say something like that.
That
was disgusting. I should have said that. It was embarrassing in front of Colette.
No. I hear far worse on a regular basis.
Do you ever hear? Does a man ever on your couch ever say that he tells his wife, "I eat it too good"?
Maybe not in those exact words, but the similar
physical does come up?
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. We talk about people's sex lives all the time. It's so important.
It is important.
Yeah, it's a huge part of a relationship.
That doesn't seem to move the needle for my wife. It's just like, any type of effort I put into that never comes into play.
Whatever. Are you putting an effort for your own?
No, whatever.
Right. Is it for her?
You're just
or
sitting on the
for
edge of the bed waxing things.
She's
It's
never
like,
gone through all the problems that I have and then started listing the good things I do. It is always like, all you do, take the kids to school, make them breakfast. She never says, and eat it.
That's not at the top of the list.
She never
It's never
mentioned.
come up for me either, buddy. Don't worry.
You never
I
mentioned.
don't think it's on the list.
I have
most
to
of
say,
that
I
bad.
think that's true. I think that's really true. Women obviously want to have a good sex life, but it definitely tends to be more important to men. Also, it's a primary way men feel connected. It's not just physical gratification. A lot of men aren't connected to their emotions, so they feel close through sex. Women, they may enjoy sex, but if the emotional emotional parts of the relationship don't feel good, the sex alone isn't enough.
Yeah. That's I've learned that over
Yes.
20 years.
Anecdotally.
Yeah.
Let's play that again. Replay Colette.
There's only 2 years left.
Replay.
I'm like, the next one, I'm gonna be real good at this. Way better.
I'm gonna get flowers for my new family. You'll see. I'm gonna cook for my new family. I'm gonna get flowers for my new wife.
That's how many
I'm gonna
times?
be a great dad to my new son.
How many times?
Wait, if we could start over?
Yeah.
How many times do you see that, Colette, where someone relationship breaks up? You mentioned it earlier, and then you see that person you were with doing all the things you wanted them to do during the relationship, and then now they're having a happy life with their new partner, but they
There
decided
is an answer for that.
They're
Oh my
like
God, yes.
exercising. They stopped doing drugs and drinking. They're like,
Yep.
started going to church. Or what like all this stuff. It's like, wait a minute, you were with me.
What about me?
yeah.
So
this is
not
all-
only do I see that so often, but that happened to me with my first marriage.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Way to bring it up, Tom.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's
so
okay.
sorry. We'll be right back.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm very open about it. Also, I got divorced 20 years ago this May. So, and it's the reason I became a relationship therapist was having a really shitty experience in marriage counseling with an unethical, poorly trained therapist who kind of did more harm than good. Got divorced. I was really young, 2 little kids, and my ex-husband, all the things that I kept trying to say, hey, this is what isn't working. I think really because he never thought I would leave. And I do think that he suffered from that. And that's what propelled him to make changes. But for a little while after, I was like, wow, I couldn't get you to do any of this for me. And it can be easy to personalize this as, did you not love me enough? But it's really not usually about that, although it can be very difficult to watch.
Yeah, but it's kind of like once you get the stent in your heart, then you start exercising.
Right, right.
You're like, oh, wow, like that was close.
Once you have a desk here. Exactly. Right.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty decent
that is
analogy.
They told me 20
beautiful,
years ago this was going to
perfect
happen.
analogy.
I didn't listen.
Wait, that's it. That's exactly
Yeah,
it.
that's a good
like,
one.
you go to the doctor, they tell you to eat better.
If you weren't so dumb, you'd make a good relationship therapist.
We should partner up. There's money in this.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay, yeah.
But it's true. And then you have a heart attack or you get diabetes and you have to be injecting yourself every day and suddenly you start getting healthy. So I think that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
But ideally, when something doesn't work out, you move on, you focus on your own life, and you try not to personalize the fact that someone's changed for someone else. You hope you find a better relationship and you've grown.
I like putting secret posts, or not secret, but public posts on Facebook, but only meant for my ex to see.
Vague. You got to
You and everyone else.
That way to make them feel bad. Yeah. I like when people
Like,
do that.
look
but-
how great I'm doing.
By the way,
Life's
all your
never
friends,
been better.
Yeah.
all your friends see that you're doing this. Aren't you embarrassed that you're doing this because it's completely obvious?
Right.
And I'm talking to everybody who does this all the time on my Facebook, where I see them make a post about their new relationship, and I'm like, man, I knew you're like I still know your partner, and then also I know what you're doing. We all do. It's obvious.
It's super obvious.
And like you should be embarrassed.
Like you're dipping her and kissing her by a fountain.
Yeah.
I was
and
like,
you know what the little what's the word I want? The aphorism about it is that the more highlight real sickening lovey-dovey stuff, the more unhappy and bullshit it is.
yeah, that's
yeah.
absolutely true.
I think it's true. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
who are you trying to convince? I'm not saying you never have a nice picture of yourself with your partner, but if you're really happy, you're not trying to broadcast it to the world every other second.
well, I'm trying to make my ex jealous, Colette.
That's a different thing.
Because I want her
That's
back.
valid.
No, I want to make her miserable because she took half my stuff.
Like,
And
look
then
what
it was
you're
very
missing
ugly.
out on.
Yeah.
Yeah, FOMO,
A
relationship
lot of people
FOMO.
in the chat room agreeing with that.
Oh, yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of people agreeing.
Yeah, I mean, I
with
think
that.
we've all had those moments where the ego, it's an ego-based thing. I've been guilty of it too, where it's like, it's not even about an attachment to the person necessarily. It's just if someone wronged you or screwed you over or left you, there's a part of us that wants to go see how great I am, see how happy I am.
I'm the worst at the grudge, though. I'm the grudge guy.
Are you a
You're
grudge
not.
holder?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've held
Really?
him.
He holds
Yeah.
them good.
I'll hold him for
till death.
20, 30 years. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why?
Yeah, on his
Is that
deathbed.
like a family pattern? Because that tends to sometimes run in families.
Your dad could hold a grudge.
Yes,
Yeah.
my dad could hold a grudge.
Yeah.
That's the Dennis Grudge family.
Yeah, where they call us the grudges.
Are you Italian?
No, I'm not. I'm German.
Okay, I'm Italian, and I say that because a lot of times, like, it's a big Italian thing to be like, I'll never get over that.
No,
Yeah,
it's I'm German, but yeah, I am the grudge guy, and I'll hold like when I feel like somebody's wronged me, I love to wait till that person is at their lowest moment, and then I want to dance like Rumpelstiltskin on their grave.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. He's
Damn.
serious.
I am being serious.
Yeah,
Like,
No,
yeah.
I
That's his favorite
love
thing.
that you're willing
Yeah.
to voice that.
Well, people have seen it, actually.
Okay.
I've seen it.
We're not telling anyone
like, whoa,
anything
wow.
new.
No, and it's not with everything,
Right.
but like I'm a little more of a like, no, I'm never doing anything with you again. You're dead to me.
Yeah,
Like
you're
I'm
dead to
definitely
me.
that guy.
I like
Whereas
that.
you are not.
Yeah, I'm the almost exact opposite, where it's nothing matters. Even if you wrong me, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna
So what does
actively
it
get
matter?
revenge.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy because that's to me a sickness. But I will.
That's a little sadistic.
I will hold a part of you in my brain, and I will monitor you until one of us dies, and I will measure up who won at that point.
Okay, that is fascinating. And then I love how you described it, though. When you're at your lowest point, I will go dance on your grave.
Yeah.
It's just so powerful.
Yeah, well, I
could have a field day with that in therapy.
I will dig up your body.
Yeah.
And I will
I will
take,
dance on your bones.
and I'll take your skull out of the coffin, and I will use the sawzall that Tom has not given back to me yet. I'll chop the top of it off of it, and I'll fill the holes at the bottom of the skull with that foam that people use for
Damn.
crafts, and then I'll drink a White Claw out of your skull.
Okay, that was really descriptive.
Yeah, that's
I
what I'll
love
do.
it.
So, Colette, I got
Yes.
another thing
Yes.
that I thought about as well. It's because the marriage law isn't in effect yet. The goons aren't already, and I doubt it. It'll take a while.
Oh, this is in
for
your
it.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I was thinking, what about the couples? And this, on paper, never works, and we've talked about it a long time, but start dipping into some different types of lifestyles.
Yep.
Like
Lifestyle or
Ooh,
swinging.
I bet you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
a lot of. Okay, my
Polyamory.
guess would be, and I've
Yes.
said this on the show many, many times,
Do tell.
that it destroys relationships. That it takes a very, very special couple
I'm
or
very
individual.
special.
You are, but your wife is not.
Yeah,
She's
God.
basic like me.
So you're onto something because there's research. I mean, the research I'm about to quote may not be the most current number, but that about 65% of people are open to exploring conscious non-monogamy in whatever form, right? Being with other people, swinging, open relationships, lifestyling, but only about 6% pull it off effectively. And what
Whoa, that's a lot lower than I thought.
Yeah.
So, okay, and again, there may be more current data.
Right. And it's case by case,
right,
too.
right,
Like, everybody's
absolutely.
different. But
And the biggest thing, though, is that it can be done well, whether these numbers are super accurate or not. But it takes people, and there's research to support this, it takes people who are excellent communicators. They're very clear about their boundaries, and they're constantly checking in and monitoring how is this feeling. Because the danger is
I'm none
even
of
if
that.
you
yeah, I know. Seriously, I
Yeah.
was, and I
Zero
wasn't even going to
of
make a
that,
joke there.
yeah.
I was like
Yeah.
listening to that. And I'm like, well, if that is what it
that
takes,
rules you out. No.
no, but
I want to never
I'm
talk about it
kidding,
after,
I'm
after I do
It's
it.
funny because he
Oh my
is
God,
the
let's not
type
talk
of
about this.
non-jealous person where
Yeah,
it
who
would
can handle it?
But the reason it wouldn't work is because you wouldn't be checking in with Crystal, and that
No,
would
no.
blow the whole
I'll
thing.
tell- I'm like, the bull's here.
He's in the bathroom. He's in the bathroom using baby wipes. My God. Ready yourself.
I thought I told you.
My God, did you start with a warm-up? You got to start with a warm-up. He's in the bathroom baby wiping
Okay,
himself.
Let's never talk about this again, by the way.
But you know, the thing is, the risk.
You didn't use
really,
a douche?
even when you want this lifestyle, is that, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? I'm not judging it. It can be done well, and I've seen couples do it well. I have couples who come to me for other reasons, and that's part of their lifestyle, and it's working for them. So it's not problematic in and of itself, but the risk is that sometimes even when people don't intend it, they end up catching feelings for someone else. I've had couples who were in an open relationship and they were open with each other, and then they left their spouses and now they're married to each other. So it can you just have to know the risks going into it. But the reality is, like anything, that can happen to anyone anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have your partner under lock and key.
Like I met my wife babysitting for my other family.
That would make a great story.
She was 18 when I met her.
Oh my God.
To pick her up.
I
Do
mean,
you remember that movie, Poison Ivy? Oh my
Oh,
God!
yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
that scene in the rain? Holy
that
smokes!
was a great movie.
I'm gonna have to go find
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's like 30 years ago.
You know, that babysitter fantasy was there for a hot minute because of Poison Ivy.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bet.
And I thought, when I have kids, they'll be hot babysitters. They're not. This doesn't happen.
But
It's not a
also,
thing.
like in the late '90s, no one was like, "Ew, you shouldn't think that way." You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like, now you can't be like, "Oh,
There were-
I
yeah."
wanna-
In the late
I
'90s,
know.
you felt for that man in the rain.
like,
You were like, "Oh my
Totally.
God!" You were kind of like, "Oh, I do it too."
Exactly.
Great job, old man.
Yeah, now
And I
you're-
think actually plenty of people are still like, I do it too.
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
they are. Yeah, they still are.
but
yeah.
you can't say it now.
You can't say it out loud.
You're like, yeah, you
Can't
know,
say it out
yeah,
loud.
yeah,
That's
Just like you
all-
can't tell your wife the bowls in the bathroom with the baby wipes.
No, you can't.
All right, let's run through
Okay.
a couple of these.
Yeah.
And
These
then
are
we'll
just quick, like and these are just like little one-word things that basically these are things in relationships that you see
Yeah.
that kind of they're the biggest mistakes. Like the first one they have here is denial.
Denial.
That's a huge one.
Denial of what?
like
well,
that
there-
your relationship is
failing.
Oh, I
yeah,
got
yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Got it.
it's basically like you're,
Yep.
and I've seen some of this before with people where it's like, I'm like, these people are together and weird. Like,
Yeah,
Do
we-
they not realize how bad it is?
Yeah, we all know those people that, and I'm not talking about any of my friends, that will argue the entire time
Yep.
they're together on a trip or something.
Yep.
And you're like, whoa, that is not
This
fun.
is not good.
But if
Yeah,
you put
it's
them on the
not fun.
lie detector, I believe they believe it's good.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
which is
Or
weird.
they don't realize
They
how
don't
bad
hear
it
it.
is.
No.
I think it's
See
the
it.
frog in boiling water syndrome. It's your normal. It gets
Oh,
worse
that's what
in
Tom
time.
calls me in a bathtub. Sorry, I got confused because he's so
Frog and
mean to me.
boiling.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a big thing is that people don't wake up to what's happening until maybe it's too late.
And-
Yeah.
And then, and there's no way to tell them. It's like friend, like I
No.
feel like that's a step
They're not
too far.
receptive.
Yeah, so you just, I guess you let them figure it out on their own. Although it seems like it would be beneficial if they knew earlier that this is not going to work out than going down the
For sure.
train tracks another 5 years and to
Right,
inevitable
and
end.
waiting until you have the heart attack and the stent. To do it.
Yeah.
Right.
But they never listen to you though.
No, and they shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever? This happened to me once personally. You know something about somebody, like there's infidelity or something, let's say, and you go to that friend because you feel like you'd want to know, and they end up initially getting mad at the partner, but working it out and then hating you.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
happens
Yeah,
a lot.
It does happen.
Oh,
And
and then
you-
the partner knows. Then they come over for a
Right.
birthday party, and the partner
Right.
knows you told the wife that you
Right.
cheated,
Yeah.
and then you have to pretend.
But
to,
somehow
"Oh,
you're the
I
bad
don't know."
guy.
I'll go hide in the bathroom with the bowl. I'm not coming out.
Yeah.
But somehow you're the bad guy, and all you did was try to help your friend.
Yeah.
I think you got to let people, to your original point, the boundary. I think for the most part, if someone asks you, that's one thing, but otherwise, I think stay out of other people's relationships.
Yeah. Which does suck because if
Yep.
they're your friend, you care about them,
Would-
and you're like, this is not.
Would
this
you
is gonna
tell
end-
me?
Nope, stay out of it. I'll stay
Yeah.
out of everything.
Yeah.
I think
I
I'd-
don't get it.
You know,
in other
honestly, I
people's
think I'd stay out of yours too.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like close.
I
But
know.
I don't know.
I've been waiting for someone to sit me down and tell me. They're like, "Hey, buddy, this is
think
it looks rough," and I'm like, because they don't justify. I'm like, I know, that's what I thought. Oh, I would hug you.
almost-
I'm like, I thought it was crazy the whole time. I thought it was Shutter
Oh,
Island.
it's almost over. Yes, 20 years almost over. I can get that new family.
Anyway.
The next one we had was enabling, and
Oh, yeah.
just within the relationship, I'd say Andrea enables me. I think
Mm-hmm.
I because I
oh yeah.
I bitch a lot. I'm like, so
Yeah.
I think there are times when maybe she'll lean into
They're like, give him a candy bar.
Yeah,
Shut up.
yeah, shut this man
Yeah,
up.
whatever
yeah.
makes it stop.
Yeah, whatever makes
Oh,
it
yeah.
stop. Yeah,
I mean,
think,
the fine line between a codependent relationship and a healthy relationship, it's a really small space. You're living intimately with someone every day. You don't want to fight all the time. So it is easy to get into those enabling roles. Or like even I'll see it, this came up today with scheduling, right? The husband expected the wife to even handle his appointment.
oh yeah, I do that.
And then was frustrated with her when she didn't like write his appointment down.
I do that with Andrea. Yeah.
Right, but is it her job to handle an adult's calendar? No.
Well,
I mean, if that's what she
just
signed up
following
for.
them.
I mean, like that's like
Right.
saying it's a firefighter's job to put out fires. It's
Right.
like-
Well, and then that's what she identifies is that I've enabled him to think because this is what I do.
Like
so
anything that
this
Daniel,
is exactly accurate. Yeah,
Yeah.
you nailed me.
anything if Daniel ever
100%.
does
can't tell a lie, right? You got it. You get it. You get it.
Yeah.
like in the future, if Daniel ever does anything wrong or bad, I will think, how did Andrea let this happen? I'll be mad at her. I'll be mad at Daniel.
Because you know,
Yeah,
you've been
how-
enabled.
How
By
Andrea's
Andrea.
fault.
Yeah. He let
She
Daniel
enabled me so
write
much
this
she
email.
enabled Tom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It goes on forever.
So
I mean, and
that-
I feel like my husband enables me a little in ways where I don't go to the grocery store. I don't fix anything around the house. I have a really great husband
No,
who's
he just
willing
loves
to
you. And he knows
Oh,
you're
you're
hot.
Captain
He's
Woman.
like,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
letting this lady
Let,
out of
I
here.
hope that's the way
Oh,
that
it's
he
gotta
looks
be.
at it.
Because why else would you do that?
I know, right? But it's so great. And now to the point where I'm like, oh, we need a light bulb in the
And he's
I
like,
mean, I know how to
I've got
change
it.
a light bulb.
See, I like
That's
that.
enabling.
My wife doesn't do. She wants because her mom's super strong woman, that's
Independent.
independent.
Yeah.
So she wants. So she's like, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Then she'll buy all the stuff, and then it just sit there, and I trip over it in the garage for weeks until
Well,
I
you
do
just
it.
need to say that part.
and then I'll finally do it. And then
Yes, yeah, I
that's
have
it.
none of that. I'm like, please take care of me in this way, and I will happily allow you to do it.
That's what I have with my wife.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
wife,
it's the
did you
opposite,
know
though.
we live in a townhome. It's 4 stories. I'm not bragging, but I'm only telling you that because my wife carries me up and down the stairs like a baby.
Aw.
No, she doesn't. It'd be funny though.
Do you have
She's
that?
like,
If she
that-
could, she
yeah,
would.
no,
though.
yeah, she's strong. She's very strong.
All right, let's
You want to do one more?
Let's do one more.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
hit
do a
me
big
up with
one.
one more.
Let's do
Colette, before
I find these fascinating.
let's talk about your podcast real quick.
Yeah,
Where
please,
can people
please.
download it? What's it called?
My podcast is called Insights from the Couch, Mental Health at Midlife, but it's really about all things at midlife, all the unique issues that come up. It's available on every platform, so wherever you listen, we've got video on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all the good stuff. And we just hit top 5%, and today is the 1-year anniversary of my podcast.
Congrats.
Awesome.
Existence. Yeah,
That's
so we're the
fantastic.
baby. My podcast can't drive a car yet.
Well, hey, that's
It's
all
in
right.
diapers.
It's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
but it's going great.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And where can people find your practice? Like Colette is our neighbor, literally next to our studio.
100%.
Yes, are
And-
you sure you want everyone knowing where you
They
are?
know.
They
it's
know where
fine.
I
And
know,
I
I'm
have some
kidding.
listeners that have actually reached out and I've shared your people. Our listeners very much like your bedside manner.
Oh,
And I
thank
will say
you.
that you fit our shows so well. They love you and they
you.
like the help that you give and the fact that you're not stuffy and you can kind of
Right.
play with us a little bit.
Right.
Because humans do talk like this. So
Yes.
yeah.
You got to be real people.
Exactly. Tell people where you're
Yeah.
at though, because people
So-
do want to know.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. So you can find information at ColetteJaneFair.com, and my office is in Baldwin Park on Lake Baldwin Lane. Please reach out if you need help, have questions. I mean, this is a mission-driven business for me, so I want to help in any way I can.
There
Awesome.
you go. All right, here's a big one. It's a big one for I think for both of us.
Okay.
Because this one doesn't just apply to our romantic relationships, but it applies to even work relationships or even you and I managing employees that we've had in here. Avoidance.
Oh, okay. I have a book coming out February 3rd. It is all about avoidance. So
Avoidance.
this just made me so excited.
Tom and I are the kings of.
It's the biggest problem.
We're good at it, right? We're
It's my favorite thing to do.
it really is his favorite thing. to do.
Yeah.
Now
I'd rather avoid than almost anything else.
And so would most people, but it creates a lot of problems. So you're spot on.
So yeah, and it must be an evolutionary thing in most humans' brains where
Let's push it aside.
It kept us alive somehow. Maybe like the people that saw and like immediately did maybe died sooner. Or like oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason we all avoid.
Oh yes,
do
I
you
can
see it a
tell you
ton?
why.
Do you just
Oh
see-
yeah.
Tell us.
It's the biggest problem. So think about what the brain is designed to do to help you survive. It's to avoid pain and suffering, to seek pleasure, and to do both of those things as efficiently and quickly as possible.
Okay.
So quite simply, avoiding is a way to prevent suffering, right? It feels easier in the short term not to do the harder and often right thing because there may be pain, discomfort, difficult conversations, confronting
That's
something.
a big one for us, especially in the
Yes.
workplace, too, is another
Yes.
thing I wanted to bring up. It's like around here, you know, we've had situations here where we needed to address things, but it's hard.
It's
You know,
hard.
it's so hard.
I
And-
like saying I'll do
awkward.
that next week, and then 5 years
Yes.
later, I'm
Exactly.
like, oh my God, it's been
That's
too
what
long.
happens, and that's what happens in
But
marriages.
sometimes, hold on. I got to give a positive
And then I
here.
can't ever
'Cause
admit it's
sometimes
been
we
this
do
long.
get to a time where we're like, it's been 5 years? Whatever happened to that? Oh, it's okay now.
Yeah,
Because there
it fixes
is
itself.
sometimes when you do leave it alone, maybe it fades away. Not very often, but it
sometimes
does.
it gets 20 times worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that confronting the thing isn't really going to make it worse if you actually know how to communicate effectively. And that's the missing part. So when people will describe to me why they avoid, and this is why I wrote a book of all about this.
I'm gonna
It's
have to
called The
read this.
Cost of Quiet. Yeah, I will give you guys autographed copies when
Hell
it comes
yeah.
out in February.
Love that.
And it is
You have it
about
available in audio.
Yes,
About
yes,
that good-
yes.
Oh, all right.
I am going
He's
to
back in.
narrate
He
my
wasn't
own
going to
book.
avoid your book now.
Okay.
Yes, don't avoid my book. So the whole thing with conflict avoidance is that conflict feels scary. And what people will say to me, I'd love to talk about it, but it won't go well. It leads to a fight. It makes the problem bigger. Pandora's box gets open. Now the day is ruined. But I sympathize with that. It's just a short term. It's sweeping under the rug and avoiding saying what needs to be said so that you don't have to feel the distress of the moment, but it leads to resentment, going numb, emotional disconnection, and actually avoidance is the #1 destroyer of relationships.
That's
So
great to
food
hear,
for
Tom.
thought.
Great job.
Yeah.
So you know what's funny about this?
I
Like,
love
what are the
George
odds? What are the odds that you honestly, we have had multiple conversations about avoidance, and our next door neighbor,
I
who
know, yeah.
happens to be a counselor, is writing a book on avoidance.
I know.
Yeah.
Called The
it's
Art
amazing.
of Quiet.
It's called the cost,
Cost
of
of
quiet.
Quiet.
Basically, quiet is a euphemism for avoidance. So the cost of quiet is that you're miserable, you're filled with resentment,
You're
and your
freaking me
relationship.
out right now, man.
Right?
Like, what are the odds that she would write that? Like, right beside us,
I
she's
know.
been listening
we were
to
having,
you.
we were vibing through
She's
the
been-
walls.
Yeah, she's been.
What if over the years she's absorbed like little things?
I believe in that kind of stuff, man.
Somehow
I
I
believe
do.
in that kind of
Me
stuff.
too.
Weird energies that are kind of like
I do
you've
too.
been sending your avoidance up through the drop ceiling.
Somehow I know exactly
through
what
the
not to do.
In fact, through osmosis, I intuited that this book needed to be written for Tom.
I love it. Well, I will gladly listen to it and read it, and yeah,
I'll avoid it when you
February.
February, yes. So we've got 8 months almost to the date, but it's coming out with Penguin Random House. So
Congratulations,
thank
man!
you.
What a weird. That is just wild. That's blowing
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's because people are so avoidant, they don't even think about it. It's sort of like the problem that it doesn't even get as much recognition as it needs.
Yeah, I'm already avoiding the avoidance book. I told myself I get that email home just to keep scrolling.
Oh my God, her book's out. Click, delete.
That's going to tell me a bunch of things I have to do.
He was like, I'm
No,
going
I
to
think
avoid.
that's so spot
He's
on.
like, I'm going to avoid February.
I already forgot that I heard it. Colette, thanks so much for
You
coming
were the
by. We
best. Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
coming
Thanks
by.
for having
You're
me.
awesome.
I love being here.
Appreciate it. We'll do it again. Guys, you know where to find her, and we will see you tomorrow.
Perfect.
Awesome.
That
That
was
was fantastic. Are
So
we done for the
Yeah, that's
fun.
it.